Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soul Brothers channel. And today I got the Pro Model 2G shell toe shoe in. And this shoe is going for $100 and obviously it's by Adidas. It kind of has like an old school design to it. And shout out to Brant for getting me the shoe. This is my first impressions. I played it in a little bit outdoors, not indoors yet because of the lockdown. So the performance review will probably take a little bit. If you guys do want to cop, I'll leave a link in the description box and let's get it started off with the traction. So we have a multi-directional herringbone pattern that's separated into like these little pods. And I was trying it on my wood floors and it seems really good. There's a nice little squeak to it. It seems to have a really good bite. It's picking up a good amount of dust though. Even though I cleaned my floors yesterday, I don't know, I guess I didn't do a good job or something, but it's picking up some dust. But it still seemed to be pretty good, even though the dust was stuck on there. And this is just like an old school, no BS traction pattern. Full on just herringbone. The herringbone pattern is actually kind of thin, but the grooves are deep and it doesn't move as easily as I would think. Like for example, in the Why Not 0.3 or like the PG4, the rubber moves a lot easier in those shoes. In this shoe, it's actually a little bit harder. So I feel like durability will be good. And then here in the midfoot, we have a torsion system for torsional support, and it's just made out of plastic here, so it is decoupled in the midsole and outsole. And sometimes I'm not a huge fan of decoupling because when the shoe has it, sometimes I feel the shoe kind of collapsing on itself in the midfoot. I can kind of feel it when I'm running, you know, like for example in the Jordan 28, but it didn't seem like I had that issue in this shoe, you know, just like walking around and playing in it a little bit outdoors. The good thing about the torsion system though is that it lightens up the shoe. You take out a big chunk of outsole, you know, the rubber part, and the midsole, which takes up a good amount of weight. So that's the good part about the torsion system. As far as the heel to toe transition goes, I mean, it seems pretty good. I mean, looking at it, it is a little bit flat, you know, comparing it to like Nike shoes. Nike shoes like to have a lot of curve in them. But you know, there's a nice little curve shape here in the heel. The forefoot is a little flatter than I would like, but it's okay. And the forefoot is very easily flexed, so I mean, it's not a huge deal. And there is a little bit of heel compression from the midsole. So the cushion that they're using in the Pro model is a full length bounce cushioning, and it's really low to the ground. So the court feel seems very good, especially in the forefoot. But in the heel, I can feel a little bit of compression and a little bit of bounce, but that's only when I really want to feel the cushion. You know, like I have to really dig into the cushion to feel it. When I'm just walking around, because like when you walk, you don't really go like this and then walk, right? You just kind of go like this. It's a little bit harder to feel when I'm walking around, but I feel like, you know, when I start jogging, when I start playing a little bit harder, I'll be able to feel it a little bit more. But in this actual setup, I feel like it's going to be more responsive with pretty good impact protection and just a little bit of bounce, which I don't really mind. Sometimes I like to have a really responsive low to the ground cushion that I can just feel quicken, you know? But with the recent releases like the Wow 8 with the boom cushioning, the Omnis with the fuel cell, and like the Kairos Mark 2, I mean, those cushions have really spoiled me because they're so soft and also bouncy. But this is just a straight up no BS type of cushion setup, which isn't bad in my opinion. Moving on to the materials. So they're using a full-on synthetic leather. It's obviously patent leather in this colorway. And there are crazy creases already. That's obviously something to expect from patent leather. So basically the entire upper is this patent leather material, and you got some patent leather here in the tongue as well. It's black. It looks pretty cool. And then underneath that we have a mesh tongue, but the mesh is barely exposed, only here in the top of the tongue. And then here in the toe we have a shell toe, which is basically just rubber. And at first I thought it was gonna be really bad, but I feel like it's not. Like personally for me, I like to have a really thin toe because I like to have a really minimal and soft toe area. And then obviously I like to have support here on the lateral side. But in my opinion, you don't need a lot of stuff here in the toe area, like especially on top of the toe. So for me, I like to have that part soft, but then like conforms to your foot pretty well, and it doesn't feel very cumbersome or anything. And then when you're walking, this part actually collapses on itself and it doesn't feel like stiff, and it doesn't hurt my foot or anything. So it's actually not that bad. And it helps with the durability a lot. I mean, you're not gonna go through this at all. If you're doing toe drags, if you're playing outside, this part is gonna last you quite a while. So I was quite surprised at how I didn't really mind this. And then here in the back, in the Achilles area, you have kind of like a neoprene material. It's quite stretchy, and I really like this. It feels very comfortable on the Achilles, and I like how they cut it out here. So you know, like some shoes, they don't cut this out, and it's just like, it's too much. It restricts the movement of your Achilles, like this way, obviously. But with this material, it keeps it soft, but then it restricts that movement just a little bit, but not to the point of it being uncomfortable. So I really like this. And then as far as the padding goes, there's a good amount of padding here in the ankle area. Obviously here on the lateral and medial side, it's very, very thin. But one thing I don't like is that there's absolutely no containment in the heel. Because usually in a lot of shoes, there's foam that protrudes out a little bit inside of the shoe so that it can contain your heel better. But then there's absolutely nothing. It's literally just straight up here. So I feel a little bit of heel slip or a lot of heel slippage. But then if I tighten the shoelaces a lot, it gets rid of that. But then the fit is a little too tight for me. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really like that trade-off. But we'll have to see. I mean, I feel like once I break it in a little bit more, I'll have a little bit less heel slippage. As far as the fit goes, I went true to my Adidas size and it fits me pretty well. Lengthwise, I was good. Widthwise, I would say it's normal. And then here in the toe area, it's quite a good fit. It's not too snug for me. And obviously that's good because I don't think this rubber material is going to stretch out over time or break in. So the fit was pretty good for me. And if you have a wide foot, I would suggest just going up half a size. As far as the weight goes, I feel like these will be kind of heavy. You know, maybe around 14 ounces. Ooh, 12.28 ounces. Oh my God, that's actually average. 12.49 ounces. That's incredible. It's a lot lighter than I thought. I don't know why. That's actually interesting. What do you guys think? I guess this synthetic material is really thin, especially on the lateral side. There's not crazy padding, but there's just a good amount of padding here in the ankle area. The bounce midsole doesn't like protrude out like the BYW, so maybe that helps as well. But yeah, that's surprising. I mean, it feels kind of heavy, but I guess I'm just wrong, you know? But I feel like it's gonna be a pretty responsive shoe. As far as my first impressions go. Aesthetically, I mean, I kind of like how this shoe looks. It has that old school vibe, but then it's using like newer technology with the bounce midsole, and that's about it. But I really don't like this color. So I like this shiny patent leather color, but then like it has this green hue to it. You know, it looks very green and blue. It doesn't look very gold, you know what I'm saying? Like in hand. Maybe it shows up in the shots, but I really don't like this gold color with the green hue. I wish it was a little bit warmer. But other than that, it's a pretty cool looking shoe to me. Tell us what you guys think of the aesthetics down in the comments section below. But as far as my first impressions go, I mean, I wasn't expecting much. But then Brant wanted me to, you know, test this out. And I was like, man, I'll try it out. And just from my first impressions playing with it outside and walking around, and it seems pretty damn good. Feels like it's gonna be a very supportive and responsive shoe. I can't wait to play with them indoors. That'll probably take a couple weeks after the lockdown is gone. If you guys do want to cop, I'll leave a link in the description box. But that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.